So team, we've been in this space for a while now, like since August, and it's currently March. August? No. September? Whatever. It doesn't matter. We've been here for a little while. And I'm finally getting around to actually planning out what I want my office to be. So, as you can see behind me at the moment, kinda, it is a mess, obviously. But the storage isn't really great, and I want it to feel like a place that I can come into to be creative and get work done without having to worry about all of this clutter. So let's go have a look at what we've got right now, and I'll kind of talk you through what I want to do. So ignoring the fact that everything is kind of just thrown about the place and all of this, you can kind of see some of the planning I've been doing over here. Starting over here, well, yeah, mess, obviously. In this corner, what I'm kind of thinking is I want to have a space set up for my printer and for my Cricut, so it can be like a printing cutting kind of station. And I want to have some storage drawers, probably, maybe shelves, probably drawers though, because they're closed and I don't like dust and I don't like dusting, so that I can have the Cricut and the printer on top and then have the drawers filled with the stuff that's relevant for those machines. Moving on over to this wall, as you can see at the moment we have my one desk, the classic go-to, the desk that has been with me for a while now. I am currently thinking of getting rid of that desk, and instead of having just one, I'm gonna have two desks. So I'm gonna have an L-shaped desk that sits out here, which would be my computer, and then like a little kind of working station that's hopefully usually clutter-free. And then along this part of the wall, I would have another desk. So you can kind of see what I mean in this picture over here. Let's go have a look. So we'd have that one L-shaped desk that sits in the corner, and that's where my computer stands would be, and my computer would be there. And then we have another desk over here, which I think would kind of end up being like my journaling space. If we take a look back at where we came from, the idea then would be with that journaling desk, it would be big enough to hold all of my rainbow journals. So my rainbow journals would actually be on display rather than tucked into the cupboard. And then I could do something else in terms of storage with the cupboard. And obviously the Cricut, that guy, where is he? He would come out and go over onto that desk. So that's kind of what we're planning at the moment. The issue is that like a lot of the pictures that I see online for creative space organization have a lot of things on display, and not to say that I don't like it, because I think that it's gorgeous and I love having things in their little compartments and rainbow order and rah, rah, rah. One, I don't have that much stuff, she says, even though she has heaps of stuff, but I don't. Compared to those craft rooms, I do not have that much stuff. Two, I don't like dusting, so I don't really want to have a bunch of little jars of stuff on shelves that I then have to just dust around or ignore, more likely, and then it would just get dusty and be gross. And three, we don't have like IKEA here, really. I think there might be an IKEA opening in Auckland, but that's where the majority of the desks online come from. The nice white ones with the like clean sets of drawers and stuff and like all of that, whatever. We don't have that here. That's not available to me. So I need to think about how my storage solutions are actually going to work. But right now I just want to buy a desk, so I'm gonna go do that. Well, two desks. So this is kind of what we're thinking. We got the mobile Nova corner desk, and then the mobile desk straight white thing. Yeah, because I figure if I get them from the same place with the same brand at the same time, in theory, they might actually be like the same height. Or at the very least made of the same material, because if I have the desks right next to each other and they're made of different material, I think it will bother me a lot. I don't know why I said I think it will. It will. It will bother me. Guys, I am so excited because this place is a mess and I really have to clean things up. But my desks should be arriving on Friday, which means in theory, big theory, at some point this weekend, I should be able to set my desks up. I say big theory because there are plenty of other things that I need to do, but I'm hoping we can, because then I can kind of get a feel for what the available space is going to look like. My desks are supposed to be arriving today, but before that happens, we really need to do something about this floor, because otherwise there's not going to be any space to put the desks. But I'm really excited to get the desks set up, like, once they arrive, obviously, so I can, like, display my journal rainbow and just... exciting! There we go. We've made enough of a path so that then we can kind of bring the desks into the space, and then a lot more rearranging is going to be necessary to actually get them along the wall there. I have no idea what I'm going to have to do with that desk to actually move it. Ugh, a mission. But I have received a message saying that the desk is like 30 minutes away, so... Gah! It's arriving! Now we just need to get this upstairs somehow.
Of course, getting the desks upstairs was no easy feat because the tops of the desks in particular were quite large and hard to move. Thankfully, we didn't put any dings in the walls, or at least none that we noticed. And I was certainly optimistic about the amount of floor space that I had cleared off for putting the desks together because it was nowhere near enough. I really should have tidied up my office properly. So if you're going to be doing any kind of desk construction, do a better job of cleaning up than I did. It'll just make your life so much easier. Once all the parts were upstairs though, it was time to think about assembly.
What you got?
Tools for Jess.
It's time to see if I can find some instructions on how this goes together. So far I've managed to get these two pieces out and actually attach the little hook things at the end, and we've got one of the sets of legs sitting here, and I've just opened up the long telescopic piece for like the other side of the desk, and I'm in the process of opening up these legs. They don't make this stuff easy. But we're making progress.
Yep.
Look, it's standing up. Let go. It stands up by itself. Ah! I still need more of a desktop though.
Some people do movie night. We do this.
He's standing by himself, and he's not at his final form yet, but he's getting there. What are we doing?
I'm waiting for Jess to disassemble her desk so we can continue.
Yeah, because this desk is too far over to actually fit the new desk in, so we need to move it out of the way before the new desk comes in.
Yeah. You remember when I said you should do that first?
Goodbye, desk setup. We're dismantling you for realsies. Oh no, the desk is naked. Unscrewing the drawers. Ugh. Yuck, somebody needs to vacuum. Thanks, Bubba. Oh no, he's topless. Get it? Oh my god. Yes, yes. Get the dust. Ew, so gross. Oh god, this was so overdue. Now as the old desk has been mostly dismantled, it's time to put the new one, well, the new corner one that we've set up the legs for, in the correct place. Yeet.
We can either drill a hole and then screw it, or we can try and do it purely with the drill bit. I personally would recommend drill the hole first. The flip side though is you might go through.
No! Are you having fun?
This is literally the worst, and then I'm doing chores tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sorry, B. Thank you for helping.
You're welcome. You would not be able to do this without me.
No, I really wouldn't.
Yeah. And vice versa, I mean, I wouldn't be able to either. That's not a shady comment, it's just a statement of fact. I hope you've all seen where this comes from.
Oh god, it's something, alright?
James May.
Oh, it's James May.
May's what he does when he wins.
It's always a worry when you finish building something, and there's all these parts, and you're just like, I have no idea what you were for.
That is it, guys. That was the whole instruction.
Yeah, so, oh well. Are you ready for round number 2?
I'm not, but the drill is.
Bring it on. Leg set number 2 is up and running. Well, not running. It's just standing here, but you get the idea.
If it ran, I wouldn't catch it.
Ouch.
Dead.
I came downstairs to get myself another Coke, and it's like a box massacre. Screwing all the things. There we go, team. The desks are officially together. Now we just need to actually put stuff on them and set them up and things. I'm actually just too excited to start storing my notebook rainbow, but I also know it is not a task for tonight. You know, just considering it's what, 1:45 a.m. I think we may have to wait and make more progress tomorrow. Well, I've gotten to the point of putting my journals out on the desk. So pretty. I need to figure out a better way to store my pens, but for now, this is looking cute. So the desks are in. I've got my journals on display, but all of my supplies are everywhere. So I'm thinking that one of the things that I might want to get is an art cart, so that I can kind of tote it from one side of the desk to the other, depending on where I'm working. And I think that'll help because the majority of things I'd store on there would be the things that are in my drawers at the moment. So off to get an art cart. And by off to, I mean it's 11:43 at night and I'm gonna go to the Kmart website and see what they have. So I was thinking this kind of thing, like a 3-tier trolley. Last we spoke, the desks have been set up. I just have storage issues because I don't have any drawers in these desks. So I've ordered myself an art cart from Kmart and I just got the notice that it's been shipped. So yay! Hopefully it'll be here in the next couple days because I cannot deal with this anymore. Oh my god, I'm so out of breath. Okay, so I heard the faintest knocking at the door and a package has arrived. Huzzah! Hello, beautiful. I think I know what's in you. Heck yes. Now, I know that the reviews on the website said this was a total mish to put together. I'm hoping that those people just were going about it wrong and that it's not actually that bad. Fingers crossed, but I think this is gonna be really helpful. Like, there's so much, just look at it. Blarg. Can you see it? Look at all this stuff everywhere. We need to do something about this. All right, so we've got tray 1, 2, and tray 3, instructions, stuff to put together. I like that it says that you should wipe it down before you use it, and it's like, do not immerse product. I'm like, what, am I gonna go throw it in a lake? Like, come on. Do we have all the pieces? I hope so. I mean, to be completely honest, I'm not gonna count the pieces. I'm just gonna assemble it and hope for the best because, like, who has time for counting?
Thankfully we did have all of the pieces in this one, and no spare pieces, unlike the desk, which always just leads to concern, but one thing it didn't have was the tools to assemble it.
I mean, of course the tools aren't provided, but still, this is frustrating. I need to go get some screwdrivers. I should probably actually check. I'm gonna check if I need any other tools before I go down there, so it's one trip. Seems that everything else is provided, so downstairs we go.
I decided to assemble this one at my desk just because it was a little bit more of a kind of user-friendly height to work at, rather than trying to do it on the floor and bending over and yada yada. Following the instructions though, we start assembly from the bottom because every time you screw in a drawer, you're screwing in from the inside of the drawer. So if there was a tier on top of that already attached, it would just be a little bit awkward.
I'm so damn close to finished, and then this one just won't line up. After many curse words and now with very sore hands, I managed to get it in. I can see why people said this was a bother to put together. It wasn't that bad up until that last one though. But there we go, we have an art cart. I am very pleased that I was able to put it together, but damn am I sore. Now the aim is to see how much I can actually get onto the cart so I can start tidying up my space. But that also includes the stuff that we have in these drawers. So all of this stuff, all of my washi tapes, and I don't know how much of that will get in there, but we will see. So I for sure need some better containers to actually put my pens in, because like this one's okay, but it's circular, which is kind of annoying, and then these two are just not actually a thing, because this used to be in a pencil case. You're fine, you're a maybe. Unsure yet. Obviously there are some pens that you can store vertically and there are some that you have to store horizontally. Looking at you acrylographs. But we're making progress. I'm probably gonna get started on the washi tape because I've taken the drawer out now. Well, I guess that's it. I guess I can't get any more washi tape. We're just gonna ignore the fact that I still have some there and I've still got some there and I took some out. I need a better storage solution for the washi, but I like how it's sitting in there at the moment. So because my office storage is becoming a big issue and I've just got stuff everywhere, we are back on the Kmart website buying some storage. Well, my containers have arrived in a giant ass box to go with all the other boxes that I have in my office, but yes. Well, so far I've elected for one of the containers I got to become my new washi box. So I've moved the washi out of the middle tier here and into the box just because it was really full in the middle tier, and I kind of feel like I just want essential items on the art cart, so things I'm going to use way more often, and washi isn't one of those things. One of the things that I got in my order were these little drawers. They're like little acrylic drawers and they kind of stack on top of each other and stuff. I figured I could put them underneath my computer monitor stands as a way to store my like common pens or the ones that I use more often. The first lot of organizers was a success, so I'm getting more to try them out. We're finally getting towards a point where I might actually be able to take the stuff out of these drawers because like there's just so much stuff. Jess and Virgil back at Kmart. We're going to get more acrylic containers. Are you excited?
Jess is going to get more acrylic containers.
Virgil, what we get?
You got another container.
Only one though. I wanted to get 4. Sad. But it's fine, I went online. Sadly, they didn't have 4, they only had 3, but at least that's more than 0. It's been a hot minute since we had an update, but we're getting prepared for this desk and this desk and the rest of it to actually leave the premises. Admittedly, that's not happening for like a week and a half, but I want to be prepared and kind of like sort my stuff out and find new places to live by moving this out of my office. Well, the desk is gone. I really need to find some storage solutions here because this is not the business. Oh yes, more containers.
You have a problem.
Several months later.
Well team, it is now the new year and we have finally gotten to the point where my office storage has frustrated me to the point of actually going out to buy something. Vogel and I drew up a plan for the Connex cubes. It's effectively a cube system with a whole bunch of different sizes that you can kind of just like screw together, so it makes a kind of custom shelf. So we're both going to actually get those for our in-cupboard storage because, well, Vogel doesn't have any in his cupboard at the moment, so there's actually nothing to like store in terms of like shelfage and whatever. Mine, we have the bookshelf in there, which is like, it's okay, but it's not ideal. So we need something better.
Acquiring all the cubes that we needed was actually a giant mission. We had to go to 3 separate Mitre 10 stores, but we have them all now and it's time to assemble.
One cube down, way many more to go. Well, we have done it. We have made all of our cubes and quite a mess in the process. For now, it's break time to have dinner, but we will be back at work after break time.
Literally 2 holes away from being done with all the drilling, and the drill bit decided to snap in the box. As you can see though, we have completely cleared out the closet and taken the doors off the closet so we could actually get in there. But it's now 1:15 midnight, so I'm having an ice cream and going to bed. Sometimes it's good to know when to quit, then just take a break. It is the morning, we are back at it, we are making progress. This is very much one of those activities where I really, in my soul, know I would have just preferred somebody else to do it for me. I know it's going to be rewarding when it's finished, but right now my hands hurt. Ta-da! Now we just need to tidy it up and populate the shelves. Each of the little screw holes got a little sticker to put over it. Sadly, these stickers are really inflexible though, so I can't stick them over the actual screws because, as you can kind of see, the screws come out enough that, you know, you just put the sticker cap over it and then the sticker cap would be inflexible and then it would just stick out and just, yeah, it wouldn't work. But this is okay. I think that once stuff is actually on the shelving unit, that it won't really matter. It's also having a really hard time focusing on it, but you get the idea. Yay, shelf population time! I obviously had all of these things stored on the floor between the point of getting the bookcase out of the wardrobe and then building the actual shelving that we've got in there now. So getting these onto the new shelves felt like quite a milestone. I notably have a lot more storage in there than I used to, which means I have a lot of space for growth. I'm hoping that I don't use it up too soon, but I do very much appreciate the extra storage space. So I started just by putting everything on the shelf as a kind of starting off point, but I'm thinking that because all of these journals are spares, and those ones are spares, and those ones are spares, and all of those black ones are spares. Okay, they're not spares, they're gonna get used eventually, but all of those I think I'd like to pull out and put down here, because they don't need to be like eye level super accessible, and I think that having them all together would be pleasing. I possibly either underestimated the number of journals I had or overestimated the amount of space that I had on this shelf because those black ones certainly didn't fit. So I just ended up putting them on the shelf to the left of that one. That's just looking a little bit better. I also have these 2 notebooks which have found their way here as well, and I've also put Minchino up here. This is not his final space to be in, but he is quite nicely claiming that hole. I've also put my acrylographs up here. I'm not too sure if they're gonna stay here just because that seems like a lot of wasted space at the top, so also, like, this blues drawer and even the pinks and the greens, like, they're all overly full, so I need to think about, do I actually want to store them in these little drawers and thus have to store some of the blue pens elsewhere, or like, I'm not too sure at this stage. Well team, it is now the 11th of January and we are supposed to be having the drawers delivered today, which I'm very excited about, because once they're delivered, I can get rid of all of that, put it away into drawers and reclaim my desks. That is what I'm looking forward to, but I'm not too sure at this stage when they're getting delivered. Hopefully it's sometime soon, because I'm kind of in a period of my day that I actually have some downtime to work on it, but we will see. I'm so looking forward to having this off my desk and off my floor.
A mere some hours later, they have been delivered. I don't know why I thought they were assembled, because, like, I knew in my soul they weren't, but I hoped that they were. Oh well. These are 30 kilograms each, though, and I have to try and get them upstairs. So that's gonna be fun. Oh my gosh, I've gotten them up here now, but dang. Okay, we're gonna need some tools so we can build these things.
Although the drawers did not come assembled, they did at least come with very informative instructions, unlike the desk, and they didn't require any holes to be drilled like the shelves. I would still say that they were one of the more difficult ones to assemble, but that's probably because I decided to assemble them by myself, while this was very much a two-person job. It was very much one of those situations where, like, I could have waited for Vogel to get home and we could have assembled them together, but it was a Wednesday, so I had people coming over for Bujo Wednesday and I just wanted to get it done. As I've mentioned it a couple of times, the disorganization in my office up until this point was really getting to me. It's one of those things where every time I'd come into my office and I'd see the amount of mess and clutter, it would really just make me not want to work there. And now as I work for myself, this is the place that I spend the majority of my time. I want it to be a space where I can feel at peace, I know where everything is, I've got the resources to be creative and get things done. So having all of the clutter on the floor, and at this stage here, on the desk, isn't really conducive to that. So while yes, I could have waited for Vogel to get home and he could have helped me out with the drawers and it would have made it a lot easier, I just wanted to get it done. Of course, I've listed everything that I got as part of my office organization in the description box below, at least the pieces that I can link you to. Notably, I live in New Zealand, so you might not be able to get all of the things that I've used if you live somewhere else, but it might give you a good kicking off point for your own office organization, if that's something you're looking to do. After having built the shelves a week prior, my hand was still hurting, so I made use of the drill to help me screw all the pieces together. This office organization project is the most that I have ever used the drill, but hey, at least it meant that I acquired some handy skills.
Excellent, we have one, and now I just have to do the other one. I can understand why the instructions said 2 people, but I feel proud of myself for getting it done by myself.
Once the drawers were assembled though, it was time to put the doors back on the closet so that I could actually put the drawers into the corner where I wanted them.
Oh, they look so good! And then the art cart will live next to them, and then in theory, we might get some kind of like a board for the top of it, so it's one big piece. And then this is where the cricket will live. Yay! The only problem is I don't have a power socket in that kind of general space, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to get power over there.
At this stage, I haven't really sorted out my power issue for the cricket. In the meantime, I'll probably just use an extension cable from underneath my computer area to run the power over there. But now it's time to populate my drawers. The washi tape storage has been one of my biggest issues in my office. First with them just being stored in the drawer of my old brown desk, and then trying them in the art cart, and then that not really working, and then having them in the black Kmart container, which was just living on the floor. Initially, I wanted to try and get in-closet shelves that were deep enough to store those black basket weave tubs, but I couldn't really find anything that was easily accessible and not completely custom made. So the washi is now being stored in the drawers, which is my favourite solution for them so far. I do plan on getting some kind of divider system at some point so that they don't roll around so much. Changing the orientation that I had them in though did certainly help. Washi tape isn't the only thing that we're going to be storing in these drawers though, so we're also putting in the materials for the cricket, any kind of paper supplies that I have, my stickers, and general office supplies. At this stage, I was really just putting them in kind of haphazardly. I was kind of planning where I wanted things to go, but as I started to put the stuff into the drawers, it became apparent that I really did need more of a plan. Just to make sure that things were grouped appropriately and I wasn't wasting any space in my drawers. Because the drawers are a little bit wider than I'm used to and a fair bit more shallow, it means that I can't really stack a lot of stuff, but I can fit a lot of stuff across.
we've gotten to the point where realistically I need a list. So we have our list here. I need to assign the drawers because I feel like I'm just kind of putting things in them and not really planning out where I want things to be, like, properly. We've got setting up the filming gear, decluttering some supplies, some other things. Like, it's already feeling better to have a chunk of stuff off the desk. Obviously, there is still work to be done, but I don't want it to end up just being a dump things in the drawers and forget about them. I would like to be a little bit more organized in how I'm putting things in here. So at the moment, I have washi tape in that drawer, and this drawer. And I don't want to have 3 drawers dedicated to washi tape. That seems a little excessive by my standards, just because I know I have other things that I want to store in here. For instance, this drawer currently has paper in terms of like scrapbooking papers, but there's also space on the side here, so like that could get used for something. I don't know. It requires a little bit of thought, so that's what I'm gonna do now.
Might as well continue the tidying up while I'm thinking about the drawers. While I was putting away these things though, I was being mindful of, do I actually still need this? There were a couple of items that I knew I realistically wasn't using and probably won't use, so I'd rather declutter them now than find a home for them in my office, only to declutter them in a few months when it's very, very apparent I am not using them. Getting the office tidy though took a hot minute. I don't know about you guys, but often when I'm tidying up, I'll like open a box or something to see what's inside and then get completely distracted and go off on a tangent of like exploration. Not a super helpful habit to have, but I found that filming the process did help me stay on task. It's like you're my accountability buddy. Here we have one of my boxes of decluttered items, so went through some of my pens and got rid of some of those, getting rid of my mini guillotine because I use a different paper slicer, and then just a couple of other items. My electronics box also needed some work because the little black box here was not big enough for all of the new electronic cables that I've gotten recently. Part of my office organization was also setting up a better filming space so that I can do more frequent live streams, which is a goal I have for the year. By this point though, I was feeling a bit more confident about how I wanted the drawers to be organized, so this meant I needed to move some things around. In particular, as mentioned before, I don't want to have 3 drawers full of washi tape, because realistically, I don't use washi tape enough to warrant having that much space dedicated to them. Especially that much space in my drawers, which are supposed to be for like things that I use a bit more often, stuff that I want handy, but not as handy as the stuff on the art cart. I am planning on doing a live stream to declutter my washi tape, so stay tuned for that one. Something that I'm still working on is what should go in the art cart versus what should go in the drawers, though at this stage I have pretty much fully assigned the drawers. In terms of the things that are currently in the drawers, we notably have the washi tape. I've also got a drawer assigned for stickers, a drawer assigned for general office supplies like staplers, spare erasers, that kind of thing. One of the drawers is holding all of my scrapbooking papers, so decorative paper packs, and then another drawer is holding all of my paper printouts, so things like mini calendars, different styles of habit tracker like hexagonal trackers, circular trackers. One of the drawers is also assigned to my Cricut mats, so it's got the Cricut mats, but it's also got my Cricut pens, and then another drawer has my Cricut vinyls. And I also have a drawer that isn't actually assigned to anything, but it's kind of just holding miscellaneous things, like plastic bags, printer paper, and a couple of other bits and pieces. While the drawers are feeling a lot more organized, as said, the art cart is still a work in progress, even now. I did do some organization of it during this big office organization project, but it's still something that I need to address further.
In my head, I kind of want it to be that anything that is like a use pretty much every day or use very frequently kind of thing is either on the top of the art cart, in terms of pens that is, or it's in these little guys here, which you can see behind me. These ones. I need to do a bit of a reorganize of those because they are a little bit of a mess. Some of them I do use more than others, but some of them I could find a new home for the supplies held in those. For the art cart, I'm essentially thinking though it's going to be kind of like consumables in terms of pens, paints, I don't know, that kind of genre of stuff, except on the very top where I'm also going to have my journals that I use more often than not, just so that they're a little more accessible, they're handy, but they're not on my desk, which is where they used to be. And then anything that is a notebook will either go as part of the journal rainbow on the desk, or it'll go into the cupboard on the shelves. Now on the shelves I also have the acrylographs because they are stored in those little drawers, and that's a nice place for them to fit. At least currently, because I was sick of having them on the desk as well, because I'd have to go like all the way over. I say all the way, I know it's not that far, but still. I'd have to go all the way over from here, where I'm sitting, all all the way over to there where they used to be. And to get there, I would have to go around this part of the desk, the part that kind of jots out like a T-shape. Which means because it was a hassle, I was never really incentivized to use my acrylic graphs, which is not so helpful. Whereas rolling around, if I have them in here, like they are at the moment, then at least it's a shorter trip. I know that seems silly because I still have to get up and get them, but it's still a shorter trip. We're just gonna ignore the fact that all of the camera gear is still in the way, but this black box over here used to be the one that was holding all of my electronic equipment. But it wasn't big enough, so I have repurposed it to sit in the corner. Literally because my desk, if you can kind of see, it doesn't actually go the whole way to the wall. So I needed something there to make sure that my beautiful rainbow did not fall off the desk. Or at least the vinyl pink notebook there, because yeah, he's kind of skinny, he would have fallen down the side. So that box is there to keep everybody safe. I've been thinking a lot about the journal rainbow, and I kind of feel like I need to split it into a pastels, a brights, and a darks or something like that, because this region over here isn't working for me. If we kind of take from there down to the pink, that works, but then this doesn't work. We just ignore this part here. There we go, that all works. Yeah, and now I don't even know where the blue is gonna go because that doesn't really work. Possible solutions. 1, just deal with it. 2, split the rainbow. Or 3, just pull out the ones that don't really work. Yep, I've decided it belongs there for now, and we're just gonna move everything over and deal with it another day.
Another day has not yet arrived, but on this day, Vogel and I were setting up my filming stuff. The light that's already in the corner I set up sometime in December, and I liked it so much that I decided to get myself another one. And I also wanted a new stand for mounting an actual camera rather than using my phone to film all my videos. Upgrading my filming gear is very much one of those projects where I was stuck in analysis paralysis for a very long time. I let the research stage of this project go on for quite a while, so having that stuff now in my office and set up is feeling very good. One of the reasons that this part got done on a day by itself is because moving that desk is really difficult already, even without stuff on it, but I didn't want to have to take my stuff off it. So I very much needed the assistance of Vogel. Now we need to deal with the cracked floor mat because this guy, that pointy bit in particular, keeps trying to ruin my socks.
Plus half the times when I roll over it makes this really loud cracking noise, which is just not the business, so we need a new floor mat.
Thankfully, I know exactly where to go.
Problematically, the only one they have is a folding one, which I do not want. Attempt number 2! Sadly, they only have the rolled type, which is also not what I want. Maybe I should just get one of these crazy town mats instead. This is proving to be much more difficult than I initially anticipated. See, I know that the one that I got that's now broken, but I've had it for a while, but the one that I got that's now broken, I got it delivered to my house, and I don't know where it's from. I thought I knew where it was from, but they either don't sell it anymore, or they've changed it, or something. So I've managed to find one online though, and I know I've ordered from this place before, but I'm pretty sure we ordered Vogel's floor mat from here back in 2019 or something. His still works though, so maybe this will work for me. Well, that was quick, it's already here. It was actually quick. I ordered it yesterday and it has been delivered. I'm very impressed. Before we actually get to putting the floor mat into the office though, the office is in dire need of a vacuum. Between setting up the shelves and the drawers and then just, moving everything around and letting the dust move from anywhere that it had settled, the office floor was not looking super great. I took this opportunity to do a deep vacuum or a slow vacuum of some areas. So just going over the area very slowly with the vacuum cleaner. But I'm me and I don't really like vacuuming, so there were some areas where I just said, stuff it, we're just gonna do this quickly. It still made a huge difference to making the office feel a lot more welcoming though. While the old floor mat is very much not the one I want to be using on a regular basis, it does still have its merits. It's still easier to roll over that compared to the carpet, so I decided to put it on the other side of the desk, or effectively the side where the journal rainbow is, so that if I ever have a guest in my office, they don't have to roll over the carpet. This makes the rolling of the chair easier and also protects the carpet itself. Hopefully it doesn't try to maim their socks like it kept trying to do to mine. Oh my gosh team, it is looking so much better. Let's just ignore the tripod and this bag of stuff, which is the next thing to deal with.
Very much one of those types of projects that I've just been putting off for a while, that realistically doesn't actually take very long once you get into it, is unpacking all of my school stuff. This bag in particular used to be my school bag. It is very well loved and very worn, and when I left my teaching job, I just took all of the stuff that was in my drawers and put it into this bag. And that bag came straight home and got put on my office floor and never actually unpacked. It's been on my future me problems list for a while, so I figured now is a good time to actually get it done. Most of the stuff in here is either just stationary bits and pieces, like highlighters and post-it notes, cards from students and colleagues, and a couple of other bits and pieces. After this though, it was really just about tiny details, so dusting things off, and because our time-lapse filming by this point was now over, I could actually put my tripod away as well. So here we have it. Welcome to my refreshed office space. I am apocalyptically pumped to use this space. One of the major selling points of the house that we're now living in was being able to have my own office and having it in a state where I can actually use it, be creative, have enough space for all of my stuff, and have it stored in a way that is actually peace-inducing is huge. Taking a look back though, this is what the office was like initially, so cluttered, crowded, not enough storage space. But now we have plenty of in-closet storage, with my notebook stored in here, my electronic equipment, and some collections of pens and other supplies. This also has plenty of room for growth, which is nice because I'm bound to get more journals. The Cricut now has a storage space on top of the drawers that are storing a whole bunch of other supplies, and we've got the art cart which can store my most used supplies. Still needs some work, but looking pretty cute. The journal rainbow is out and proud. I am so glad to have that on display, and that space is nice and usable for anybody who comes into my office. While I had originally intended to store the printer with the Cricut, it's a little bit too deep for the set of drawers, but that's okay. In terms of me being able to use my office though, I have plenty of desk space to do my journaling, and I actually have a proper filming setup so I don't have to do my plan with me's and such on my phone anymore. Get ready for more live streams. I am so excited. This project has been going for like almost a year now, so to have it soft finished, so happy. As mentioned, I do still need to declutter some things, including my washi tape, so look out for that one. But if you wanted to see my last washi tape decluttering, then that video is up the top here. Or if you just want to see some more videos like this one, where we do a whole bunch of tidying and stuff like that, my reset playlist might be for you. Click or tap on either of those and I'll see you over there. So excited to use my office.